Unicorns Whisper. Hello there, sweetheart. This is Unicorns Whisper. And welcome to your first Russian language lesson with me. So let me start by saying that I'm one of those teachers who allows her students to fall asleep during class. So if you feel sleepy at any point, just feel free to fall asleep. It's just gonna make me really happy. And if you are going to stick with me until the very end, then I'm gonna be as happy, believe me. Yep, I'm that kind of a teacher. So, let me start by saying that Russian is a rather challenging language. But do not be scared of that, okay? Because I'm a really good teacher and you'll speak Russian in no time as long as you put a lot of effort into it. Why is it so difficult? Well, mostly because of its pronunciation and grammar. Especially if you haven't studied any other language that contains cases, then it might be hard to grasp it at first, but we're not going through that in our first lesson, don't worry. And as I've said, don't think that it's gonna be tough. As I've said, it's gonna be alright if you study it and if you put work into it, okay? So, in our first lesson, we're gonna go through an alphabet, which is obviously very important because if you don't know the alphabet, you cannot read or write in Russian. So, it is crucial to study alphabet first, and then I'm gonna teach you some rather useful phrases, and I do want you to learn the alphabet by heart by our next lesson if you are going to stick with me. And I'm not expecting you to know it perfectly well by then, but at least try to memorize it, and of course we'll do some more exercises to memorize all the letters, but at least I want you to put effort into it, okay? While as for the phrases are concerned, you can just look through them, and if there are some phrases that interest you or stick to you and easier for you to memorize, then if you memorize them, then that's perfect. If not, it's not a big deal. You'll memorize them later on as we move on with our lessons, okay? Okay, so let us start, shall we? So here I have the alphabet, but sorry, there's something in my throat. So we're gonna go through that together now, and I want you to repeat and write after me. First of all, yes, write and then repeat. So we need to put a lot, we need to emphasize the pronunciation because it it is important, otherwise people are not gonna understand you. Okay? So, okay, let us start. So, the first letter of the alphabet is very similar to English one, and it is written the same way, but unlike English, this one is pronounced as A. Okay, repeat after me. Okay, A. Once again, A. Yes, that's perfect. You're really good actually at this, but we've only started, but I can already tell by the way you speak. So, this one here is a kind of typing style. The way, you would type it on the computer, or the way it is like typed in books and stuff like that. And this one is a writing style, so the way you actually write it with hand, kind of handwritten style. So that's the difference between them. Some of them are the same, like O, S, but we're gonna see that later on. So second letter is B. Yes, repeat. Okay, B. What am I saying? B. B. Yes, repeat. Okay, a little bit more like B, you pronounce it like B and E, but this one is B, not B, but B. Repeat it again. B. B. Yes. Okay, that's wonderful. B. Next one is V. 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 Repeat it again. V. Yes. Next one is G. 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 Yeah. D. 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 And again, D. Yes, very good. This one is Y. Yeah. Yes. And this one is Yo, but it's like Y with an umlaut. Okay, Yo. Yes, very good. Next one is J. And it reminds me of a beetle. And in Russian, beetle is zhuk. So it's kind of a good way to memorize that. And this one is a tough one. J. You need to put your teeth together. J. J. Okay, repeat it again. Well, you're almost there, but not exactly. J. You need to put like all of your teeth together, like the upper and lower jaw. Kind of squeeze them. J. Yes. Okay, you got it. Just repeat it once again. J. Yes. You're really good at this. Next one is Z. 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 Yep. Next one is E. E. Next one is Y. Oh, sorry, I messed that up. Y. And it's also called И краткая, which means short E. So this one is very similar. И, Y, И, Y. Yes. Y. Yes, very good. Next one is K. K. Yeah, very good. Next one is L. L. Yep. Then M. M. Yep. Ne. Ne. O. And this one is the same. O. Next one is P. P. Yep. P. Yes. R. Yes. R. Next one S. S. And this one is the same. S. Yeah. Yes. Next one is T. 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 Yes. U. U. Yep. And then let us move over here. F. 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 Yes. This one is Z. 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 Kinda need to put both of your teeth together and put the tongue right next to them. Z. 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 So it's something like z in English. So when you say that's or something like that, or what other examples can I think of? Z, but that's the sound of z. Z. Yes, yes, very good. Next one is Ch. And I would write it sh. And next one is sh with this little tail. And it's more of a soft sh, and you pronounce it as sh, sh, not sh, sh. Can you tell the difference? Sh. Okay, repeat it again. Sh. Yes, okay, that's good. Then follows these 3 letters, but these 2 are not a sound. They're signs, and you use them to either soften or harden a letter that follows before it. We will see some examples later on when we are going to go through some phrases, and this one is U. In this one you need to pull your lower jaw to the front, yes, like so, and then try to make this kind of sound, U, yes, U, and again, U, yes, very good. So now we only have 3 letters left. This one is E. E. Yep. This one is U. I would write it like this, or actually U. Yep, and again U. U. Yes. And the last letter is Ya. 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 Yes, perfect. Okay, so we're done with an alphabet, and let's move on to some phrases. So obviously, first of all, we need to learn how to say hello. And there are 2 ways to say them. One of them is Привет, and the transcription would be Привет. Привет. And repeat it again. Привет. Yes. And this one you use in informal situations. For your friends, family, and people who are younger than you, but sometimes even for younger people, if you don't know them, you have to use the formal way. And the formal way would be Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. Okay, I know it's rather hard to pronounce because there are 4 consonants over here, but you can actually skip this first V over here, this one, and pronounce it as Здравствуйте. Then it's a bit easier to pronounce, and no one will notice that you actually skip it, and most people skip it while pronouncing this word. So repeat it after me. Здравствуйте. let's move on to saying good day, good night, good afternoon. So let's start with morning. And to say that, доброе утро. Доброе утро. Доброе утро. Yes, you're really good at this. I'm not gonna write good every time, so I'm just gonna write good day. And that would be добрый день. Добрый день. So, or it's also used as good afternoon. So it is used after noon. Okay. And here you can see this soft sign that makes N very soft. So if it wasn't here, it would be день. But since it is here, then it sounds like день. And here you can see U. And I've used Y for it, since there is no such sound in English. But keep in mind, when I use Y, but it actually should be a sound U. So let's just repeat it one more time. Добрый день. Добрый день. Let's move along to saying good evening. Which is usually around 6 o'clock and after. And that would be добрый вечер. Добрый вечер. Добрый вечер. And maybe you were wondering why good, because all of this means good, but here the ending is different from this one. It is because this is a genderless form, and this one is a male form. So in Russian you change the ending depending on what form it is, which gender it is, male, female, or kind of no gender. So this one is genderless, and this one is male, as I've already said. Okay, did you get that? Well, more or less. Okay, that's perfect. I do not want you to learn that now, but at least you need to kind of grasp it a little bit, and then it will be easier for you. Obviously we're gonna go into detail on this one later on, but I'll tell you like, oh, you remember that? And you'll say, oh yeah, I do. So it will be easier for you to understand it later on, or in case you were wondering. But anyway, let's move on to saying good night. And in Russian, you do not say good night, you say peaceful night. And that would be, so I'll write you peaceful. Okay. And that would be спокойный. Спокойный. yeah, I kept using the typing form, so it's kind of easier for you to read it. If I was using the kind of handwritten form, it's much harder to study it and like kind of understand what's written. So, but usually people would obviously use the handwritten style. They wouldn't write like this, like when they write letters or anything like that, because it takes more time. But when you use the handwritten style, it takes less time to write. So, sorry, kind of. So, this one, спокойной ночи. Спокойной ночи. And I guess that will be all with this type of greetings, but next thing we're gonna learn is how to say goodbye. And there are also several ways to say that. The informal one would be пока. 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 Okay, and the formal way, пока, but it's pronounced more like пока, but it's like pronounced пока, since it's O in a closed sound, like in a closed situation, I guess, where it's between two consonants. So that's why you pronounce it as A. And formal way to say goodbye is до свидания. And it literally means until we meet again. До свидания. So it's kind of until meeting, literally, but yeah, it means kind of I'll see you soon, something like that. So, next one, we will learn how to ask how are you, and that would be как дела. Как дела? Как дела? And here you can also say у тебя. Как у тебя дела? Or у вас. And I'll explain the difference in a second. So, как у тебя дела or как у вас дела. And the difference is simply because this one is informal and this one is formal. Okay. And there are several ways to answer that. Well, I guess most common would be saying I'm good. And that would be хорошо. Хорошо. Another way would be to say so-so, kind of not good, not bad, and that's так себе, так себе, так себе. Or another way would be ничего. Ничего. Which literally means nothing, but it is used as saying so-so. Let me think if there are some other ways. Как дела? Ничего. Так себе. I guess that's pretty much it, but we will also learn how to say that things are bad, and that would be плохо. Плохо. I think if there are some other ways to answer that. One would be to say normal, like okay. Normal. That would be нормально. 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 And kind of to say okay. If you just say okay, it's kind of, it doesn't sound that Russian. So you would say у меня окей. So it kind of means I'm okay. Literally it means with me okay. But you don't say that in English. Okay, so let's move on. To like once you answer that, I guess you would ask them also like how are they, at least it is polite to ask that. And you would say а у тебя, or it's kind of asking and you, or а у вас in polite version, formal way to address someone. And this one is informal. А у вас, а у тебя, or а у вас. And well, they would say like one of these answers, probably the ones we have here. And maybe they will say thank you, and that would be спасибо. 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 Or it's double E here, like спасибо. And also, oh yeah, there is another way to answer, and is that like gorgeous. And that would be великолепно. Like absolutely stunning, something like this. Wonderful. Великолепно. Великолепно. let me teach you some polite words like you're welcome, and that would be пожалуйста. But you kinda omit this y when you say that, so instead of пожалуйста, you say пожалуйста. 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 And to say excuse me, that would be извините. 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 So now let's move on to asking and answering some questions such as about your age, name, and location or where you're from. And let's start with asking a name. That would be, so I'll write that, what's your name? Как тебя зовут? And this is the informal way, and you would say вас if you address someone in a formal situation, okay? Как тебя зовут? Or вас. Как тебя зовут? Как тебя зовут? And to answer that, my name is, you would say меня зовут. Меня зовут. Okay. Меня зовут. Меня зовут. And it literally means they call me. And the question is also like, how do they call you? How are you called? Yeah. So next one would be asking where do you live? And that would be, I'll write first, where do you live? And that would be где ты живешь? Где ты живешь? Живешь. Sorry, kinda messed that up. Just erase it a little bit. Живешь. Где ты живешь? Где ты живешь? And to ask the formal way would be где вы живете? Где вы живете? Где вы живете? Где вы живете? And the answer would be я живу в. Я живу в. Я живу в. So, for example, to say USA would be США. Я живу в США. Or, and then you don't have to change the ending, but for most countries you have to change the ending. And for example, to say I live in Japan would be я живу в Японии. And Japan would be Япония. And there is я over here, but in this case it's an example of using cases in Russian. So you change the ending. We're gonna go through that later on, so don't worry, but we'll return to that this example later on to grasp the content. So if you live in USA, you're lucky, you don't have to change an ending. Although if you say America, then you do have to change it. But let's move along to asking your age. Oh no, sorry. There is also another way to ask about where you're from. Like, yeah, where you're from. Ты откуда? Or вы откуда? Informal and вы is formal, as you could have probably guessed by now. Ты откуда? Or вы. Ты откуда? Ты откуда? And я is, я means I, me, я is, and here is exactly the same. Я из США or я из Японии. Okay. So maybe you have noticed, but in Russian we hardly ever use the verb to be. So like I am, you are. So it's simply said I from, like this. I from. Yeah, we don't actually use the verb to be. So the last thing we're gonna learn today is how to ask someone's age. So, how old are you? How old are you? And that would be сколько? Сколько тебе? Or вам лет? But obviously keep in mind that you don't ask women about their age. Сколько тебе or вам лет? Сколько тебе лет? Сколько тебе лет? And to answer that, мне, I'm years old. Okay. Мне number лет. Мне лет. Мне, let's say 18. Мне 18 лет. Мне 18 лет. And obviously, to answer that, you need to know the numbers, and we're gonna go through the numbers from 1 to 100 in our next lesson, because I don't want you to swamp with information, like overload with it. Otherwise you're just gonna get discouraged, like, oh my god, I have so much to learn. Don't worry, we're gonna take it one step at a time. So as I've already said, your main objective until our next lesson is to learn alphabet, and we're gonna go through memorizing it more in our next lesson and kind of exercise more so it would sink in. And as I've said, we're gonna go through some numbers, and if there's gonna be enough time left, then we can start on cases, because we do have to learn some grammar as well. But anyway, that was all for now. That is all for now, sorry. And thank you so much for coming. Thank you very, very much. I hope I'll see you next week. And do take good care of yourself. And I'll see you soon.